Right, with the housing prices going up so much and the rents going up every year, people are considering mobile homes or trailer parks as an alternative. Let's talk about them. Well, I'll tell you, I can't give you any advice on this, but I can at least give you some information to do some research so you can make it easier for you to make a decision on your own. This video has no advice in it. If it sounds like advice, it's actually my opinion, and I'm entitled to my opinion. And you can take it or leave it, do whatever you want to do. All right. So the question is, should you buy a mobile home as an alternative to buying a house? And I'll tell you what I've seen both sides of it. I've seen people getting really good deals in a mobile home, and I've seen people get totally bent over in a mobile home park. So I'll tell you about some of the good deals that I've seen real quick first. Is I've seen a person go in, buy a house for a mobile home in a park. We're talking about in a park on a permanent foundation somewhere. That's can be a great deal. Depends on you. But in a park, they got a mobile home for like 30,000, and then the space rent was like $400 a month. And in the city they were living in, a single bedroom house or single bedroom apartments were like $1,200. So it was quite a bit less, and it was a good deal for them. But I'm going to tell you again about some of the bad deals that happen and the things to kind of look at if you're thinking about this, because there are some catch things you need to really kind of look into. You would definitely want to have your contract read over by a lawyer and really know what you're getting into before you get into it. But these are the types of situations that I've seen, and as well as the good ones. I've seen some really bad ones. So a lady was given a mobile home. For $5,000. She got the mobile home, and her space rent started out at $550 a month, and her apartment in her city was about $900 a month, or was about $750 a month at that time. Okay, so it was quite a bit of savings. So she put down $5,000 in the mobile home, and thought that was a good deal. Got into it, and what happened is the owner in the mobile home park raised the rent. So it went from 500 to 550 to 650 to 750 to 850. Now it's $950, and her $5,000 mobile home is almost the same price as a rent in her neighborhood, and she can't, move out, because if she moves out, then she has to sell the mobile home, and nobody wants to buy it right now because the rents are so high. So these are the things to look at, and a lot of scenarios that I've seen happen. People have gotten into these mobile homes, and they start out with a mobile home, and I'm not saying they're all bad. There's a lot of good ones. There's a lot of things to look at. They've gotten into a mobile home, and what you do is you buy the mobile home, and then you have a rent, or they have also, in some places, if it's a senior living especially, they have a place where you actually own the land. Now, those can be fantastic. A friend of mine bought one for $29,000, and like I said, rents were about the same, about $900 a month. Bought it for $29,000. The actual land payment or association fee for the land was $200 a month, and that included utilities. So some of those ones where you own the land can be fantastic buys. Some of the ones where you rent might have some places where you need to really look at it. And like I said, if you're going to consider it, make sure, I have Legal Shield membership, and I use that, and I'll call the lawyer, and I'll actually have them read the contract before I get into something like that. Just, that's about something that I would do. So, and that's how I would deal with it, but you deal with it how you want. So anyway, so basically there's ones you can own the land and ones you can rent the land. And those are one of the things you want to look into. Another thing you want to look into is the ownership of the rent, if it's rented. So those are things that, this is another scenario that happened Woman moved into one of them, and she said it was cheaper than her current rent was, and the current landlord kept the rent really low. It was like $400 a month for a long time, and then they decided to sell the trailer park. They sold the mobile home park, and then the new landlords that owned it started becoming rent hungry. So they started raising the rent, raising the rent, and raising the rent. So that's the things that you need to consider in your contract. These are the things to ask your lawyer. Does the contract have, if a new landlords come in and buy the place out, they can raise the rent if they want? That's something to ask them, in your contract. Or, how much does it go up every year? And, can I lock it in if I pay, for a 5-year lease? And then remember, if you're in a 5-year lease, what if you lose your job? Things like that. Those are all things, again, to consider. So can it be a good deal? I've seen it be a fantastic deal, for people to get into mobile home. A lot of people are looking for a cheaper way to live right now, and sometimes it can be fantastic. But I've also seen it be really, really bad, where they got stuck in the place and couldn't leave because they couldn't even sell their trailer for what they paid for it. And usually what happens is some of these landlords know this, and they'll offer, of course, to take over the trailer, and they'll sell it to someone else and give them a cheap rent to start out. So they make money on those trailers constantly getting moved through the property. That way, because it costs you so much to move that trailer out, you might say, "Oh, I'll just take it with me," and you go to get an estimate to have the thing moved out, and it costs like $5,000, $6,000. Well, that's how much I paid for it. And the thing's not even worth that on the streets. But maybe you just want to do it just to not let them have it. I understand, but those are the options. I'm just trying to give you some information. You can, of course, do some more research on it. Those are things that I would want to research before doing it. Just a couple things that I wanted to share with you about getting a mobile home in a mobile home park. I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Please like, share, and subscribe.